Well, we've got some breaking, exciting news. Apparently, someone who appears to be oriented to the left, anti-SCOTUS, anti-Jewish, anti-Catholic, anti-ICE, just took 200 bombs to the steps of a church where the SCOTUS was supposed to be. Yeah, this is going to be a thing. Everything's going to be linked in the description box below. I always bring the receipts, of course. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Guys, the more they do this, the more you win. Understand, the more crazy is shown, the more people go away from the crazy. It's not difficult. But that's why the premise on these last videos for the last little while has been we're going to win and save our country, is because the level of crazy that you're seeing is off the charts. All right, so in the wake of the Charlie Kirk assassination, the ICE assassination attempt that killed multiple people, the assailing of protest or ICE agents in different liberal cities, now we've got this. Man with 200 explosives and leftist manifesto arrived outside Supreme Court event at a church, say the police. And I've got all of it for you right here. So let me just bring in real quick. If we're now escalating to the point where we've got people who openly say they are anti-ICE, anti-SCOTUS, which is a conservative SCOTUS, anti-Catholic, and anti-Jewish, how are things going? You also have an attorney general from Virginia that literally wishes the death on children of Republicans. I mean, guys, how many more things do we have to see that goes, there might be a problem on that old left? Anyway, let's keep on going. Let me hear you in the comments on this one. I've got all of it for you. Oh, that's a doubled up, sorry. So this right here is the actual Fox News little video or arrest or segment on the concept. And then I've also got on the story, and I've also got something on the Hill, so I'll give you both sides. But look at what Fox News just reported this morning. This was an hour ago, or 4 hours ago.
Well, we are learning more about the suspect that was arrested outside a D.C. cathedral ahead of a mass marking the start of the Supreme Court's new term.
Police are revealing he had a massive supply of homemade explosives.
Bizarre guy Griff Jenkins joins us live outside Washington with the details. Hey, Griff.
Yeah, good morning, Brian, Ainsley, and Lawrence. What's really frightening about this is that Supreme Court justices were expected to attend this annual Red Mass, which marked the start of a new Supreme Court term and honored the judiciary. A 41-year-old South Jersey man named Louis Jerry arrested on the cathedral's steps with more than 200 homemade explosives. They included Molotov cocktails and vials containing nitromethane, a compound used in the Oklahoma City bombing. Now, court documents show that Jerry threatened to detonate the devices and handed officers writings expressing anger towards the Catholic Church, the Supreme Court justices, members of the Jewish faith, and get this, ICE. When officers told them...
Well, I am personally shocked. I can't imagine what would get someone to the point where they would say, you know what, I'm going to take 200 bombs that I've made from my own homemade devices, set it on the steps of a church where the SCOTUS is going to be, blessing in the tradition of the new SCOTUS term, which is starting, which is setting up to be very anti-left. And then we go after the Jews, the Catholics, and the ICE. I wonder where that could be linked to. The guy's own manifesto says it. Okay, I'm not making this stuff up. I've got multiple different sources that I'm about to show you. This is not just me. But here's the thing, and this is the underlying principle that you guys have to understand. The more far left crazy that they exhibit, the more it's going to hurt them politically. I've said this for a week and a half to 2 weeks now. Just like in the 1960s when the hippies were losing political sway and political power, they turned to extreme violence and bombings, and I told you we were going down the road of hippies 2.0. Hello! This is what's happening. You are watching the death throes of the left. They are becoming more and more violent. They are becoming more and more aggressive. And they're becoming more and more in your face because they are actively losing power, the thing they hold the most dear. Guys, you have to understand, in this SCOTUS, come here. In this SCOTUS term session, next week, you're going to hear a case about districting votes and districting congressional hearings, or congressional districts, all around race only. It can go any way, shape, or form as long as you've got race in it. They're expecting that's going to get smacked around. Well, if that gets smacked around, that's about 19 seats in the House. I don't know. Why do you think they'd be reacting really, really poorly? They've got ICE, they've got Jews, Catholics, and SCOTUS. I don't know, guys. These guys do not seem like really great people to be hanging around. But anyway, they're going to keep on doing it, and we're going to keep on reporting it, and we are going to win, because not only that, we also have the most conservative generation coming behind us. We also have the best polling. We also have the entire population. The Democrats have been co-opted by the violent far left, and they are being relegated to the dustbin of history. You literally have current and future. Let's frickin' go. All right, here's the hill, the other side. I will always try my very hardest to be equal and appropriately sourced. The hill. Man arrested at outside mass marking start of Supreme Court had 200 explosive devices. There's more confirmation. As you can see, this dropped yesterday evening. A man arrested outside the annual Red Mass ceremony held at St. Matthew's Cathedral had over 200 explosive devices in a tent on the church's stairs, according to police. Louis Jerry, there's that same name, 41, touted homemade explosives when the officers approached him on the steps ahead of the service typically attended by Supreme Court justices to ring in a new term. Guys, you're looking at the falling apart and the last death throes of a far left that is losing their power. You see it in the riots, you see it in the protests, you see it in the anti-ICE, you see it in the politicians, you see it in the emotional invoking rhetoric. That's what you are seeing. This is not anything other than desperation. You see it in the shutdown that's going on. All of it is based around position of desperation and lashing out. It's not based upon rationality and strength. It's based upon weakness. That's the entire point of what I've been trying to deliver in all these videos. And let me know and hear you in the comments. Let me see some planes in the chat. But legitimately, that's what's happening. Let me go back to the Fox News article. Segment. Watch this.
And they were going to forcibly remove him. The court documents also say that he responded by telling cops, several of your people are going to die from one of these. Now, D.C. police said in a statement, during the arrest, officers observed multiple suspicious items, including vials of liquid and possible fireworks inside of the suspect's tent. The suspect is preliminarily charged with unlawful entry, threats to kidnap or injure a person, in possession of a Molotov cocktail. The investigation is ongoing. Reports say that security threat actually prevented the justices from attending, and now that suspect, Louis Jerry, is being held without bond, facing multiple charges, including possession of a weapon of mass destruction in furtherance of a hate crime. Guys?
That.
All right, so now a little clarifying thing that they didn't say correctly there. He is not being held with a weapon of mass destruction. That is not correct. And I mean, it shows you right here at the end of this Hill article. I could find it, but it doesn't matter. The whole point is it's not a weapon of mass destruction. Here we go, right here. Jerry has been charged with possession of a destructive device and false report of a weapon of mass destruction. He's being held in jail without bond. So there wasn't a weapon of mass destruction there. He literally just said he had one. That's the idea, okay? But let's go back to this. You have to understand, when I'm showing you everything that we're seeing, this is where the guy was hanging out right there on a tent on the steps of this church where the SCOTUS members were going to go, while he had writings and declarations against ICE, against Catholics, against SCOTUS, and against Jews. The far left has its fingerprints all over all those ideologies. And the SCOTUS is conservative, so of course they're going to go after that too. Just like they saw the same thing with Brett Kavanaugh. Just like they saw the same thing with the ICE attacks. Just like the Charlie Kirk assassination. All of these things are the far left losing power and unraveling. Let's keep on going. I got one more thing I want to show you. I kind of just did this, but let them recap this really quickly. Where'd it go? There we go.
Was set up on the stairs. That's where they found 200 incendiary devices. Grenades and bottle rockets, Molotov cocktails. He expressed hostility and disdain for the Supreme Court and for ICE and for the Catholic Church and for Jewish people.
So he told the people around him, he goes, hey, you might want to get out of here. I have explosives.
All right, you guys get the idea. So come here, let's coalesce around this point. What you're watching and everyone in the nation is watching is why it's important to send this stuff out. You have to understand you are looking at the far left throes of a death of an ideology. The shift is happening so overt and so fast that they can't handle it, and they're reacting very violently. It's going to continue happening until the Democrat Party divorces from them. The second that happens, everything changes. But that's what you got right now. You got 200 bombs on the steps of a church targeting SCOTUS, Jews, Catholics, and ICE. I don't know. You tell me. Everything will be linked in the description box below. Let me know what you think. See you later.